Do you see the look on Shazam's face? Well, Shazam 2 sets a horrible record for DC. Says here, if you're a DC fan, this was meant to be a big weekend. Thanks to Shazam. I can't even talk. Why can't I talk? Thanks to Shazam 2's release. The original Zachary Levi film was a comedic breath of fresh air amid all the darker DC movies of recent years. And many fans were hoping to see the sequel would one-up the original while giving us another awesome adventure with the goofiest DC hero. I gotta say something about that. Have you noticed how he's goofier than the child actor actually acts? He's not really a child. He's goofier than the teenager is. Like that. And I heard that was a complaint about the last movie. Is that when he plays himself as the adult, he's goofier than the kid actually is. So it's almost like he's overshooting, I guess, to make sure that he's, But like I said, even when I was looking at some of the animation, I was like, wait a minute. He's not goofy. He's not like a child when he's Shazam. So, yeah. It's probably not the right thing to do with him. Anyway, even though I enjoyed the first movie. Another awesome adventure with the goofiest heroes and the goofiest DC hero this side of Booster Gold. Unfortunately, Deadline reports that the movie will make a disappointing $30 million for its opening weekend. Holy shit. $30 million? Which means this latest alternative to the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't going to soar nearly as high as Warner Bros. Was hoping. So, is it doing worse than Ant-Man 3? I've seen people in the comments, when people comparing it to Ant-Man 3, because that's Marvel's last movie, and this is DC's last movie. Their most recent movies, so people are going to compare them. It is what it is. Of course, $30 million doesn't seem very low to the average person. So why is this a big deal for Shazam? First, this is a full $5 million lower than the opening weekend for the first film. Than the film was projected 4 weeks ago. And that was already a fairly low projection, meant to account for the fact that the sequel would have a lot of competition, including Ant-Man 3 and the Wasp. I'm sure neither of them are competition for each other. And that Shazam himself is not the big audience draw that, say, Batman or Superman would be. Another way to uncover how well Shazam 2 is doing is by comparing it to its predecessor. Accounting for Friday night plus previews, which would be Thursday. That's the reason why a lot of you guys don't understand why I see movies a day early. I see movies a day early because many movie theaters offer Thursday night tickets. So you can go see it Thursday before it opens on Friday. The second Shazam, why would I keep not being able to pronounce it? Am I trying to read too fast? The second Shazam brought in $11.7 million. Meanwhile, the first film brought in $20.3 million during the same window, meaning that the sequel started making 44% less than its predecessor. And Warner Bros. Did its best to give Shazam 2 a fighting chance. The movie was originally set to be released during the holiday, but the studio adjusted the release date to move it firmly away from the hit James Cameron film, Avatar: Way of the Water. Yeah, if it had came out then, it probably would have got decimated then. In the addition to simply avoiding the competition, this movie would ostensibly help, I haven't heard that word in a very long time, help English class, help the first film make more money due to selling more IMAX and PLF tickets. PLF, I don't even know what that is. It almost makes me want to say Pilaf. It's the Pilaf gang viewing? I don't know. Only some of my anime fans are going to know about that. But it looks like that won't be enough to make a difference. Some think that the ticket sales might have been hurt by Zachary Levi's surprising anti-Pfizer tweet, where he seemed to be speaking out against people taking the coof shot. But that likely didn't make much of a difference. I ain't know nothing about it. The bigger issue is likely the fact that James Gunn is ushering in a new era of DC films, and it's clear that Shazam, like Black Adam, will not play a part in the new universe. By comparison, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania may be a disappointment, but the introduction of Kang is important to the ongoing lore, making that movie important enough that most die-hard fans couldn't afford to skip it. Maybe. The real nail in the coffin for Shazam 2 is that when the smoke clears, this sequel will likely lose money for the studio. Even the successful first movie only made a net profit of $75 million, which had some fans and studio bigwigs curious whether that was enough to merit a sequel. Yeah, because people are like, okay, Shazam's net profit $75 million. I heard people talking about this. And they're like, but you didn't do a Man of Steel 2? Excuse me? There was this video where I saw Kevin Smith explaining how kind of like the movie industry works and how they number things and certain documents. And he said that Batman v Superman was literally Man of Steel 2. They just didn't name it that, which I thought was interesting. I can't remember what video it was, but I remember him discussing it, and I was like, It kind of was, you know. And I'm okay with that, although I would still like a quote-unquote legitimate Man of Steel 2. But, yeah, we never know. We may get that. So we'll see. I ain't got nothing against Levi. I wish that he play Shazam more like the Shazam that I saw in like that World's Finest animated movie or something like that. I'd like that. But anyway, post comments down below. Let me know what you think. I actually ran into a fan though. I was in Walgreens the other day. I ran into him. I saw him at the movies like the weekend before. Happened to be in Walgreens. And he was like, yo, did you see Shazam too? He was like, I liked it. And I was like, I didn't, man. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, it was just a little too hokey, man, for me. He was like, He's like, well, I get that. He said, and then he said to me, he says, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, well, all the garbage I got from Phase 4 Marvel, I think it might have made me think that this was good. So, it is what it is. Oh, man. 10 million subscribers. Woo.